welcome into another edition of Right on Rangers Live. Thank goodness the Mavs game was on today. Thank goodness the Mavs won as well because another tough one out in Philadelphia. My goodness. Rough game. Rangers lose 11-4. Saw multiple Rangers media people say it was the worst game or one of the worst games of the season. I must admit, I did not watch the game all the way through. Did watch the condensed game that MLB puts out, and also was able to watch a lot of the major replays, highlights, key moments, and I followed along on radio and on my app. Always try and do that if I'm not able to at least get in front of the TV. But look, I'm kind of glad at this point I didn't spend 2.5 hours behind the TV for this one. But I did catch the first couple of innings live, was able to see the Rangers take the lead, actually go up 2-0 on that Leody Taveras absolute mammoth shot. That was about as good as it got for the Rangers. And we're going to get into all that here in just a second. But first, all y'all that are brand new here watching, maybe for one of the very first times or for the first time here at Right on Rangers, we cover pretty much everything sports. We do NFL, we do a little NBA, we absolutely do MLB. We put a little bit of an extra emphasis on all the teams we love from the great state of Texas, including the Rangers and especially the Rangers during baseball season. Although it is not a great time to be a Rangers fan right now. 1-9 in their last 10. It has been a very, very tough stretch for the Rangers over the past week and a half. Yes, as we said on the live last night, there is that World Series championship trophy that we can always look fondly upon, and really is the only thing that I'm holding on to at this point that's helped keeping me positive. But it is tough. This stretch that the Rangers are on, absolutely brutal. And the Phillies are the best team in baseball. And so you're not going to take these losses quite as tough. At least I don't know. I'm not taking these losses quite as tough as I did the Rockies series when when the Rangers got swept by the Rockies. What was it? A week and a half ago. I'm not taking it quite as tough as that series. That was just ridiculous. Even the Angels series, I'm taking this series a lot less hard compared to that Angel series. This is a team that the Rangers should be struggling with. Should be struggling with. I mean, the Phillies are the real deal this year. They've been the real deal for a while now. I absolutely expected this to be a tough series. I said on the live last night, can we at least get one game? And I really felt like this was the game the Rangers needed to get in this series. I believe that the Phillies have Wheeler throwing tomorrow. Yeah, not exactly a dude you want to face trying to get a win and salvage a series. Zach Wheeler, very, very good. Very, very good pitcher. Not expecting awesome things tomorrow, especially with how the Rangers bats have been going. Yes, we had a few bright spots today. We're going to talk about those. And in fact, we're going to lead off with the bright spots. We'll talk a little bit about some of the places where this game really, really went awry. I will give a little backpack here. We did say in the video before the game today, we said Siegs was going deep for the second straight day, albeit he does it in a loss. But Seager goes deep for the second straight day. We called it before the game today. We also said, and it kind of ended up working out this way, although Taijuan Walker did kind of settle down. Believe he ended up going, what, 5 innings, 3 earned runs total. But we said in the video today as well that we put out in our reel that the offenses would get to the starters early. And that did happen. Rangers put up 2 quick runs in 2 innings against Walker. It was looking like this was maybe going to be a breakout game for the Rangers. It wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be today. So I think we had a few bright spots. Like I said, Siegs going deep. Leody, absolute monster shot in the second inning. It really felt like when Leody went deep, like I said, maybe the floodgates are going to open in this game. We knew that Walker hadn't been extremely sharp this season, although he is undefeated record wise. The Phillies give him a lot of run support, and look at what they did for Taijuan Walker today. I mean, not 11 runs while Walker was pitching, but they score 11 runs in a game that he started. That's the kind of year Taiwan Walker's been having. Doesn't have to be perfect, but those Phillies batters, the Phillies lineup is just stout from top to bottom. They've got a lot of great hitters. And when you give a Phillies lineup like this one free bases, Kyle Schwarber walked 3 times today. 3 walks for Kyle Schwarber. That guy, it's crazy. You always see his average like low 200s. I remember one time last year, I think he was like high 100s. He was like 180s, 190s. But that on base percentage is still up around 400. I mean, Kyle Schwarber, I think he's underrated personally. I don't think he gets enough credit. He is a great leadoff hitter. And that on base percentage, I'm going to look up, dig into it a little bit, but 3 walks today for Schwarber. OBP is sitting at about 350 right now. So he would probably tell you that he has some work to do. He could get that up a little bit higher, around 400. But Kyle Schwarber is the guy that hits the long ball, 9 home runs, 29 RBI on the season, 3 walks today. He really definitely got things going, I think, for the Phillies. Of course, Real Muto has a great day at the plate, 2 for 5, 3 RBIs, hit a bomb today. Harp goes yard again today. Alec Bohm put 2 more RBIs on the board. So once again, you got the 1 through 4 hitters for the Phillies absolutely raking. I mean, when you've got 1 through 4 absolutely raking on the best team in baseball, there's not a lot that you're going to be able to do. But I will say this: when you walk guys, and the Rangers had 6 walks, when you kick the ball around, and the Rangers didn't do that literally today, but they had 4 errors. I thought there was 3. What was the 4th error? My goodness. I mean, I watched on game day on the game day app the last inning, and I had it on the radio. What was that 4th error? There was 3 last time I checked. So we had Lowe missing the catch. That don't even get me started on. So Lowe misses the catch. We had Simeon fielding error. Seager had a fielding error. Dunning had a fielding error. So did they? I'm just curious on that Simeon Seager. Did they just give them both an error on that play? Is that what happened? The one where Seager flipped it over Simeon's head. By the way, I feel like that's got to be Simeon. I mean, I know that he's trying not to get hit in the head with the throw, and who knows what the communication was, but it looked like they would have got the runner out if Simeon would have just kept his head up and received the ball from Seager. It really, really looked like it was potentially going to be an out, and that would have really changed things. I think there were 2 outs, if I'm not mistaken, when Seager, Simeon have that miscommunication that leads to the error. That was kind of a big moment there. Maybe there was only one. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at it while I'm talking. But the errors are just killer. I think the Rangers, I saw a stat thrown out on Facebook. I think I told y'all I'm in this Facebook group that I really love, Texas Rangers fans only. And they post a lot of great stuff. Really would recommend the join if you haven't already. But they posted something basically. Rangers are at the very, very bottom when it comes to defense. I mean, they're at the bottom half of the league now after being one of the best defensive teams last year. It's a reason why the Rangers won the World Series. So, absolutely brutal today on the defensive side. Yeah, it's okay, great. I'm looking at Instagram comments here. It's officially the shortstop's error there. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'll tell you what. You don't really expect errors like that out of Simeon and Seager. Your 2 guys that are making the most money on the team, and your 2 guys that are all stars, really, really pretty solid players. You're just not expecting them to break down like that. But look, when those guys are not playing their best, or I should say, it's likely the game is not going to go according to plan. Although Seager does have a nice day at the plate today, I think Corey Seager was actually one of the lone bright spots for the Rangers. So Seager goes 2 for 3 today, hit a homer for the second straight day, 2 RBI. So I really, really think Seager is coming along, average up over 250. That is a good thing for the Rangers. Josh Smith had a couple of 2-out RBIs that I was really impressed with. But man, I'll tell you what, the Phillies lineup, it's definitely something that is making me big time jealous right now. Looking at this Phillies lineup, all the guys that they have that are hitting well. Bohm hitting 330, Harp 280, Real Muto 284. Schwarber's got close to double digit bombs. This Phillies lineup, it's a great lineup, really. It's one that I think the Rangers you thought was going to have at the beginning of the year, just with the names that they have top to bottom, but it just has not come to fruition. So I really, really think that this is going to be a tough game tomorrow for the Rangers to salvage a series win. We're pretty honest with you guys when I'm not too confident about the Rangers prospects the next day. We've been pretty spot on. I hate to be, the bad vibe giver, but we've been pretty spot on when we've told y'all, look, we know that the videos we put out, it's always glass half full. Of course, we're always predicting a Rangers win in the videos we put out. I mean, why wouldn't we? It's betting 1 cent on every follower for a Rangers win. Of course, we're going to be positive. But that being said, we are pretty honest in the lives. Hey, this is going to be a really, really tough one for the Rangers to win. I do see the next game here against Zach Wheeler as being a tough one for the Rangers to win. I just do. I know that Heaney is throwing, and Andrew Heaney has thrown well for the Rangers, but Wheeler is an outstanding pitcher. He's an outstanding pitcher, and I really feel that the Rangers are going to have a tough time getting out of Philly with the victory. I hope to be wrong. I hope the offense can come to life. I think maybe the only positive about Wheeler is that he's not a lefty, because we all know that lefties are the Rangers' kryptonite at this point in the season. So that's about the only solace I take from having to face Zach Wheeler tomorrow, is that we're facing a right-handed pitcher. But Zach Wheeler, very, very good. And I think the Rangers would be fortunate, extremely fortunate, to get a win on a getaway day going to Minnesota after the game tomorrow, which is a day game. We got a quick turnaround, y'all, don't we? This comment is actually pretty relevant. Uh, I do feel that way sometimes, Aaron. I'm not going to lie to you. So tomorrow, I think, is a 10 a.m. Vegas start for us out here. 10 a.m. Vegas start. Right now, it is a little after 9 in Vegas time. So it's a quick turnaround. Right after we get off the live, we'll probably do the video for tomorrow. Head to bed, get up, post it, and the game will be starting before we know it. So it's a quick turnaround tomorrow, but hey, it's baseball. We're not going to complain. If baseball's on during the day, I actually kind of like it. It kind of breaks up the day, gives you something to do during the workday. I don't know. I actually don't mind the day games too much. The only thing I mind about them is the quick turnaround with the videos and all that kind of stuff. But I've always enjoyed the day games. It's just kind of nice. But the Rangers will go to Minnesota after this one. So let's look at some numbers. I'm going to talk and circle back, but since I'm already talking about Zach Wheeler and the matchup for tomorrow, let me just stick with it. After these losses, I kind of get all out of sorts, and I'm just kind of all over the place sometimes. So I'm trying to stay focused here, y'all. We'll see how it goes. But I'll be checking the comments and going through here and there as I can. If y'all have any thoughts you want to share, any questions you want to throw my way, feel free to do so. So tomorrow, again, Heaney versus Wheeler. Wheeler is sporting a 2.52 ERA, 5-3 record on the year. Andrew Heaney still looking for that first win of the season. Andrew Heaney is 0-5. And I've said for Heaney, I've been a very big time Heaney defender. He has pitched well. The Rangers just have given him no run support. Absolutely zero run support. So Andrew Heaney, I don't think was the sharpest in his last start. Wasn't the sharpest, but I will say I think that he's definitely pitched well enough to at least have 2 or 3 wins to his name. and he's got nothing to show for it right now. So the Phillies have not seen Andrew Heaney very much. Merrifield has 10 at bats. Castellanos has 6 at bats, and Nick Castellanos is actually kind of raked off of off Andrew Heaney in 6 at bats. I think he is 5 for 6. So look out for Nick Castellanos tomorrow. He is 5 of 6 lifetime. 1.833 OPS. No homers, but Nick Castellanos has hit Andrew Heaney quite well. Yeah, I think that's right. I can't put the comment up on my screen with Instagram, unfortunately, but somebody on Instagram, um, somebody that definitely we have a nice little friendly rivalry with, Eagles fan, Phillies fan. Steve says that the Rangers announcers were saying that worst run support for a starting pitcher on the Rangers is Andrew Heaney. Steve, appreciate you, bud. Nothing but love, my friend. Hey, look, Phillies are a team to beat this year, no doubt. I am just not going to get too upset about this Phillies series. It's a really, really tough team to beat in that stadium. And with how they're going right now, they are on an impressive run. I really, really don't feel like we need to get too frustrated about this Phillies series. I know it's hard not to because of everything else that's happened around this Phillies series. But let's be honest, this is the best team in baseball right now. And when the Rangers already aren't in a good way, when you're going to visit the best team in baseball, and you're not playing well, it's not a great recipe for success. I think we all can be honest about that. Now, let me check out some more comments here, and then we'll preview how the Rangers have fared against Zach Wheeler in their career. So we've got Tyler Mahle update. Yeah, I saw he was throwing bullpens, but I didn't hear much about how it went or anything like that. Of course, for all y'all that don't know, Tyler Mahle, starting pitcher, signed in the offseason, was hurt, pitched with the Twins last year, had a couple of bright spots earlier in the year, played for Cincinnati as well. I think Tyler Mahle is going to be able to contribute to this team for sure and be a solid piece, but didn't really hear how the bullpen went, to be honest, on that one. So we'll see. I know a lot of guys are throwing pens right now. Evo threw a pen. Kumar Rocker, one of the Rangers' big prospects, threw a pen. Mahle threw a pen. A lot of guys throwing. So look, pitching isn't the problem. I kind of try and get excited for a second when I hear like these guys are coming back, and it is a morale boost for the team. But let's be real, pitching is not the issue. It's just not the issue right now. The issue is the bats and the bullpen, I would say, is second. And then after that, yeah, maybe starting pitching, but the starting pitching I think's been excellent. Tonight, obviously, Dane Dunning didn't have his best stuff, and the Rangers kicked the ball around a lot for him. And then Dane Dunning didn't help himself out on that pickoff attempt. I mean, it was just kind of a comedy of errors out there, literally. So, look, it wasn't the best starting pitching appearance, but the Rangers have gotten plenty of good quality starts out of their starters. The bats just have not given the run support. Seriously. Steve, I hope you're right. Steve's on Instagram right now, y'all. Like I said, I can't put up those comments with the software that I use for whatever reason. It doesn't let me do it with Instagram. So, Steve, I don't want you to think I'm leaving you out, brother. Just for whatever reason, it doesn't let me put up those Instagram comments. But Rangers, he says Rangers finishing 90 and 72. Just like last year, Steve, that would be identical record. 90 and 72 is what we finished last year. So I sure hope you're right, brother. I sure hope you're right. I think the Rangers are going to be okay if they can just stay afloat the next month or so. So, like right now, we're at May 22nd. If we can be flirting with that 500 record until June 22nd, I think we got to call that a win, guys. I think we got to call that a win. I really would like to see this Rangers team rip off 10 straight wins and be comfortably above 500 with the division lead. I think if you have the Rangers at 500 on June 22nd with all these injuries, I think you're going to take it. I'll take it. Look, clearly we all wish that they were doing better right now, but I'll take 500 June 22nd and then give me the rest of the season, the second half of the season with closer to full strength. Maybe we get Josh Young back in a month or so. I think that's going to be pushing it. He's probably not going to be back till early July, but nevertheless, that would still be about half the season left with Josh Young. So I really think that if we can stay around 500 for another month, it's going to be okay. I do think if you start seeing a big time tank, and when I say tank, I'm obviously not talking about anything done on purpose, but if you see the Rangers really start tanking, 10 games below, 15 games below, that is when I think you got to start hitting the panic button. If we get 10 double digit games below 500, you will hear me start to panic a little bit. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, all's well. It's going to be great. Yeah, this team's going to figure it out long season. If we dip 10 games below, that's going to be a problem. It's hard to play catch up when you've got teams like the Mariners and the Astros in your division. And I know right now the AL West is not getting a lot of love, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. The AL West is not anything special right now in terms of the records, but we know better. We know the Mariners got a good squad with some good arms. We know the Astros, as much as we hate to admit it, we know the Stros have some good arms and we know they have some good bats. So I'm not going to be paying attention to any of that noise that the AL West sucks and whatever. We're going to be okay because the AL West is terrible. The Mariners and Astros are good teams. They are. So if we dip 10 games below 500, you'll see me be concerned for sure. You'll see me be concerned. We can do this, 2 games, 3 games, maybe even 4 or 5 games below 500 and I'll still be all right. We start getting close to 10 games below 500 here. It's concerning, y'all. And I'm not trying to be dramatic or anything like that. It's just you're going to start getting to a point where mathematically, you're going to really have to count on the Mariners and Astros having a really bad second half in order for the Rangers to feel good about their chances. So I'm not saying that the Rangers are going to go that direction. I'm just saying if they do, I think 10 games below 500 is the point we all need to start preparing for some trouble. Not that things can't happen that are crazy, they absolutely can. But you see the Rangers dip that far below, and we got some issues. I do think, and a lot of y'all have been talking about this. I see, a lot of different comments about acquiring players. A couple on Instagram. I see a couple on YouTube as well. Look, again, this is a guy, Braxton Garrett. Yeah, I mean, we've got some opportunities to buy some guys to buy low, but I would like to see us focus on a bat right now, if I'm being honest. Bat and bullpen. I think that has to be the priority. Let's get a bat that can hit left-handed pitching and hit righties, of course. I don't think it needs to be a platoon type bat. Let's get a legit right-handed bat, and then let's get another bullpen piece. Let's get a bullpen piece that can pitch when we're down 1 or 2 runs or the game is tied and not totally blow the lead. And so, look, when we go back to the box score here, I know a lot of people were on social media just killing Jonathan Hernandez today. And look, I don't think Jonathan Hernandez box score is a perfect representation of how he pitched today. Yes, he did come in and give up the bomb. I will say this, if you actually watch the game and you watch that pitch, it was a hard two-seamer, or it looked like maybe even a sinker down and in, and dude just goes down and gets it. Like, I mean, at some point, I do think you got to tip your cap. I mean, that was like a high 90s sinker two-seamer, and dude just went down and got it and sent it over the fence. I mean, I don't know. I don't see that home run that Jonathan Hernandez gave up as like, oh my gosh, the dude just, freaking grooved one right down the middle. He sucks. Hung a slider. I mean, that was like, no, pretty good pitch, pretty good spot, just a better swing. And then they kick the ball around when Jonathan Hernandez is out there. So he had to pitch longer than what he probably should have had to. Still had 4 strikeouts. So look, I know the optics on Jonathan Hernandez aren't great today, but I do think that they definitely did not help him out at all out there in the field. I think Jonathan Hernandez actually pitched a lot better than what it shows. Yeri Rodriguez got roughed up a little bit. Grant Anderson gave up a run. So pretty much everybody in the bullpen gave up a run today. I just think at this point, you got to have a bullpen piece that can throw in those situations where we're tied, we're down one, we're down two, and we just need to keep the game close. We just need to keep the game close. Like, we struggle right now to find guys that can just do that for us because we've got it figured out when we're up one, up two, up three, basically a save situation, right? We're going to throw probably Leclerc if it's the seventh, Robertson in the eight's in the ninth, and it's a done deal. I think that at this point, the guys that we have right now, I don't know if you're going to be able to go down into the minors and get anybody better. I really feel like Hernandez, Rodriguez, Anderson, out of all three of those guys, Hernandez has the most potential. I don't really feel great about Rodriguez at all, regardless of what he did in that Angels game. I know Rodriguez was kind of a hero in that Angels game, and he had another nice outing too. But I really think that in terms of Rodriguez and Anderson, both of those guys could go back to the minors. I don't think those guys are going to be major league contributors for us. I think the Rangers are just really hoping they can figure out Jonathan Hernandez and get that guy into a sweet spot because Jonathan Hernandez does have filthy stuff. He's an arm that can get you strikeouts in big moments, but the Rangers just don't have a lot of other options. Let's just be real, they don't. So that's the tough thing. That's why I say you got to go out and get a bullpen arm and you got to go out and get a right-handed bat. I really wish, and I don't know, I know some of y'all have heard me say this. I have no idea why we didn't go out and get JD Martinez in free agency. I know that we were trying to save money, do some penny pinching, all that stuff. I get it. But I'll tell you what, JD Martinez would have been the perfect right-handed bat for our lineup. You really think about it, we lost Garver. JD Martinez would have been a perfect bat for us to get. Seriously. Now, a couple of people are asking, who do you trade? Now, that's a good question. So let's talk about this because we're going to talk about guys that we want, but who do we trade? Is it a guy like Ezekiel Duran, a utility guy who is young, controllable, some upside? Is that a guy that we trade? Who would you guys want to see us get rid of? Are we trading prospects? I mean, I know a lot of people are a little down on Jack Leiter. I've seen a couple of, get value for Leiter while you still can. And then I see the polar opposite. Absolutely not. Like the kid is what? First year in the majors. How could you trade him? So I see both sides of it. But that is kind of my big thing too. Who do you trade at this point? Who do you give up on prospect wise? And you know what we mean by that. Who do you basically bet against having an all-star career and trade? I would love to get a guy like Alonso or Martinez. I think I'd probably rather have Martinez than Alonso. I don't know what their stats are side by side. I'd have to do a little baseball reference, but I feel like Martinez may be a little bit more of the consistent hitter that we're all looking for, but I'm not sure. I'd have to do a stat comparison here and really get a feel for it. Now, this season looks like Martinez is hitting 309 and Alonso is hitting 235. So Martinez, a lot less at bats, Martinez has 2 homers. Alonso has 10. So it's kind of tough on that one. Why is Martinez not getting that many at bats? Was he hurt? That was going on with Martinez? I don't know. I think that both of those guys, if the Mets continue not doing very well, are probably going to be available. But one of those guys would work great. Right-handed power, and that solves some issues in the lineup anyways, but especially against lefties, especially against them. Okay, now we're getting some comments on who you would trade. And by the way, look, I mean, there's no wrong answers here. Y'all aren't going to see me overreact. I full disclosure, and I know that some of my buddies that follow along will back me up on this. Hang on one sec. Let me get plugged in. Phone's dying here. I am not a big fan of hanging on to prospects. My philosophy is I would rather trade a prospect and get a vet, get a bat that's proven, get an arm that's proven, versus hoping that a prospect pans out. Now, yes, are there guys like Paul Skeens for Pittsburgh that are just like, no doubt, you're absolutely going to be in the majors and you're going to be really, really good? Are there guys like Bryce Harper that came up through the minors super quick and you're like, yeah, this dude's going to be a stud 100%? Yes. Do the Rangers have any players on the level of Paul Skeens or Bryce Harper coming up through the minors? No, they don't. They don't. I don't think that anybody that the Rangers have right now in the minor leagues is on one of those levels of, like, that they're going to be just a great major league player one day. 100%. Now, this is the one caveat I do agree with. Don't trade big time prospects for a half year rental. I'm not a big fan of that. Now, you're talking about a guy that you have controlled for 2, 3 seasons. Okay, I can work with that. But my thing is, let's trade the prospects to get somebody reliable. And especially when you just won a World Series, I would much rather see us go all in and try and win a second one, a third one. I'm not going to get greedy. There hasn't been a lot of teams that have been stacking up World Series trophies back to back to back since the Yankees did it way back when. But you guys understand my mentality here. It's like, you've got this World Series championship team. They didn't lose a lot of pieces. They basically lost Chapman, Garver, Monty. I would say guys that legitimately contributed. Chapman, Garver, Monty. So I think you've got the pieces that are already in place. Let's go ahead and try and run it back. That's my attitude. So I think that the quad A guys, I like that. I'm glad I'm not the only one that uses this expression. I'm glad I'm glad that I'm not alone. The quad A guys. So what we mean by that, by the way, are the guys that are too good for AAA, but they just can't figure it out on the major league level. That's what I call a quad A guy. They can't figure it out on the major league level, but they just go down to AAA and they're always hitting 300 whenever you look. So I think about a guy like Sam Huff. Sam Huff is a quad A guy. I'm actually really shocked we haven't traded him. Like, you just need to let Sam Huff kill it in AAA and trade him while he's killing it down there. Don't bring him up again and let him suck at the major league level. Trade Sam Huff while he's absolutely killing it in AAA. But we've got some other quad A guys as well. I mean, look, Jack Leiter, I think, is maybe a little bit early to call Leiter a quad A. I don't know if I would go that far at this point, but I definitely think a guy like Sam Huff, absolutely, absolutely. And as you look at the rest of the Rangers AAA team, there may be a few other guys. But yeah, the pitchers, Owen White, quad A. Cole Winn, I think it might be a little early on Cole Winn, but I'd be willing to part with Cole Winn at this point. You know what absolutely just kills me though is that we're going to trade Owen White or Cole Winn. You know this is going to happen. We're going to trade Cole Winn or Owen White, and they're going to turn into a Cole Reagans because it's the Rangers. And that's what happens when we trade pitching prospects. They go to another organization and start killing it. Kyle Hendricks did it when we traded him to the Cubs, although, right now Kyle Hendricks not his dominant self, but at the same time had a great run with the Cubs. I think that right now that is my fear with some of these pitching prospects, which you wonder if they're looking at that. I've been wondering about this for a long time. Have the Rangers ever considered like the same things we do? And I know they probably do to some extent. You're having all these guys go and find success when they leave your organization. So, what might be the issue there, right? And look, I don't know. I don't have all the answers. Is it, pitching, coordinating at the minor league level? Is it guys? Is it coaches on the minor league level? I don't know. Don't know enough. I'm being serious. I really am genuinely saying I don't know. I'd be curious to see what y'all think. I just don't think in the minor leagues we have a solid core to develop the pitching. I do think that we've been able to develop some hitting, but I don't know if I can say the same about our pitching. It's pretty rare that the Rangers have a stud pitcher come up through the ranks. And even a guy I know, like guys like Leiter and Kumar Rocker, there's going to be people arguing, yeah, they went through college and they got developed when they were in the SEC, and it wasn't really the Rangers. I don't know how much credit the Rangers are going to get for some of these draft picks of recent years. I think they'll actually get some credit with Leiter having to turn him around after his struggles. Maybe same thing with Kumar after the big injury. But I'm willing to trade some of these guys. No doubt. No doubt. I'm willing to trade some of these guys for sure to get a good right-handed bat and a good bullpen piece. I don't think we can trade for starting pitching. I don't even think that needs to be a consideration. I don't think we need to acquire any more starting pitching. I think we got to roll with the guys we have, unless Evo just totally falls off a cliff the rest of the year and you're just absolutely not getting DeGrom back. Like if there was some crazy setback with DeGrom and the Rangers weren't going to have him, then I think you start thinking about acquiring somebody. Yeah, we've talked about Trevor Bauer. Bauer is getting blackballed though. I mean, we just got to be honest about that. It's very clear that there's a directive from the league that Trevor Bauer does not need to be signed by anybody. I think that is a huge issue. If that's true, and it's got to be true. I don't think that Trevor Bauer is the locker room cancer that everybody makes him out to be. Yes, he's made some interesting personal choices. Is he a perfectly clean, you know, outstanding, upstanding citizen, crazy high moral? I don't know. I don't know the guy personally, but I do know that he wasn't convicted of any crimes. And it actually looks like the people that were accusing him were lying. So I actually do think that it is pretty gross what they're doing to Trevor Bauer, too. I think he deserves another chance in the league. I do think that he's got support. Mookie Betts came out and supported Trevor Bauer, former teammate. That's pretty much all I needed to know. If you got Mookie Betts coming out, Mookie Betts is one of the most likable guys in baseball. And you got Mookie Betts coming out and basically supporting Trevor Bauer. I'm like, that's all I needed beyond all the other stuff. So it's clear they don't want Trevor Bauer in the league. And I wouldn't be shocked if CY has inquired. You don't think CY has probably asked Davis, "Hey, what do you think about Bauer?" And you just gotta believe Davis is probably saying, "Nope, don't touch him." Whatever. Who knows what Manfred has said to all the owners about Bauer? But CY has asked about Bauer. There's been several GMs that have asked about Bauer. 100%. Especially with some of these injuries mounting, that some of the GMs have made that call and tried to see if the owners would be up for it. I do wonder what some of those guys think of him. Now, Siegs wouldn't have a personal connection there because I think when Bauer was with the Dodgers, Siegs was already with us. So I don't think Siegs would have any kind of crazy personal connection there. And I don't know. I don't know how much the Rangers front office ownership would really care. I can't imagine that there would be a lot of guys in that locker room, in our locker room, that would just be like, "No, I'm out on Bauer." Everybody's done stupid stuff in their past. Everybody, all of us have done something in our lives that we hope that nobody knows about. I mean, it's just how human nature works. It's just how the human experience is. Trevor Bauer being a public figure, obviously all his stuff gets blasted out, but it's pretty clear that he got 100% blackballed, not only by the league, but I think the owners probably are doing a little bit of collusion as well. You're never probably going to hear about it, but there's no reason why Bauer shouldn't be signed by somebody. Dude killed it in Japan. He's killing it in Mexico. And no, those aren't on the same level as MLB. But you guys know I'm a big fan of that move. I think they should sign him, especially if you're getting him for league minimum. It really makes zero sense not to sign him. Do you really think that Rangers fans aren't going to come out if we sign Trevor Bauer? That's all you need to know. Would I know I would not stop supporting the Rangers if they signed him, and I can guarantee that nobody is going to be saying to themselves, "Well, I'm not buying a ticket anymore. I'm not watching because the Rangers signed Bauer." And if that is what's causing you to not watch the Rangers, how big of a fan are you, anyways? Right now, let's get back on track here. Let's get back on track. Um, so I'm going through comments here. I'll go to this one. Aaron, thanks for being patient on this one. So hard to know on Hill. I really don't want to come to a strong conclusion about him yet. I think today he had a little bit of a come back down to earth game, did he not? I mean, it was, let me see what the box score is on Hill today. I know he went 2 for 3 with the walk yesterday, and looks like today 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Now, put the ball in play 3 times. And Hill has been a guy that's kind of bounced around a little bit in the league. I think he played for Washington. I really, really feel like we got to let him have a few more at bats first. I said they need to ride. They need to ride Derek Hill's hot streak as long as they can, and unfortunately, it already came to an end. 0 for 4 today. That doesn't mean he's not getting any more at bats, but I think the jury's still out on Derek Hill. We'll see if they continue to give him more ABs, but I think that it sure would be nice if he could provide some pop, a little bit of a spark at the bottom of the order. But tough game, 0 for 4 game for him today with the strikeout. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if he's been tested too much out in the field. I didn't, like I said, I didn't get to watch live every single out. I don't think he was really tested out there in the outfield, but at this point, the Rangers are probably more concerned about the offense. I'm sure. Yeah, I think this is the big issue. The owners, I think, are just afraid of the PR nightmare. But let's just be clear. Sorry about that, y'all. Let's just be clear on this. The only thing that you would really be facing would be the media. I don't think there's going to be a fan backlash. I mean, I can't imagine there being a fan backlash, especially Rangers fans. I just can't see there being a fan backlash for signing Trevor Bauer. It would be the media asking all the questions, and what's kind of crazy though is that would last for literally 1 or 2 days. And then if Trevor Bauer just kept his nose clean, which you don't know if he's going to. And when we say that, we're talking about is he going to be, kind of an irritant and, try and do like the taking names thing? Is he going to, or is he just going to focus on pitching and being a good teammate? Obviously, we know he's a big social media presence and all that's awesome. What I'm talking about more is he going to have like that revenge tour attitude? I think that would be the only thing with Bauer, the only thing you'd be worried about is he going to be kind of very publicly, openly on this big revenge tour? That's the only thing that would be happening with Bauer. And again, it would be a 1 or 2 day media thing. And then he'd start pitching, probably pitch pretty well, and there wouldn't be much to say on him anymore. I really, really feel like he does deserve a spot in the league. And I'm honestly a little afraid that somebody in our division is going to sign him at some point and it's going to suck. Like the Astros are going to take a chance on him. Have y'all had that same thought? Because I have definitely had that thought multiple times. The Astros are going to have an injury, and then they are going to go get Bauer, and then we are going to wish that we would have taken a chance on him while he's absolutely killing it. I mean, that would be the worst case scenario with Bauer. 100% the worst case. So that's my 2 cents on Bauer. You'll hear me continue to say that pretty much as long as he gets brought up. If the Rangers want to sign him to a league minimum deal, go for it. We're not talking about millions of dollars here, right? Okay, hey, let's go back to tomorrow and let's talk through career numbers against Zach Wheeler. Can't imagine there's a ton of guys with at bats against Wheeler at this point. But as I look at it, looks like Doley is batting .429 and 7 at bats, no bombs. Simeon does have a home run against Wheeler, hitting .364 and 11 at bats. Seager is .357 average and 14 at bats. Nate Lowe, .429 average. So the Rangers have actually hit Zach Wheeler pretty well. Now, look, that was last year. This year's a new year. Who knows if it's going to continue? But I really think that the Rangers, if the past tells us anything, have seen Zach Wheeler well in the past. Maybe this isn't going to be as bad of a game as I think. Maybe not. Maybe it's going to be better. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Yeah, Mike agreed. I think Houston, you can just see, look, they took, remember when they took Ozuna from Toronto, and Ozuna, the closer for the Blue Jays, really good closer for a couple of years. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's out of the league now. But Houston took a flyer on him, and he was in the middle of like a domestic violence thing. And I don't think he pitched particularly well with Houston, if I remember correctly, but they took a flyer on him. So I would not be shocked at all if the Astros go and get Trevor Bauer. I just wouldn't be. So beyond that, guys, for tomorrow, like I said, it's going to be an early game, 12:05 start in Texas, 10 a.m. here in Vegas. So we're probably not going to be doing a live until later on in the evening. So, during the day, it's tough. People are working, myself included, and I just don't want to rush. I'll wait, kind of maybe do it in the evening hours when a few more people are available. Is that right? Tomorrow's game could be postponed, huh? I didn't even look at the weather or anything like that. We'll see what happens then. We'll see what happens. Rain predicted in the forecast, huh? So maybe no game tomorrow. Hey, the Rangers, we talked about this. They've got kind of a fortuitous schedule in terms of off days and things like that. So good for them. If they can get a little off day and rest right now, this is not a time where you're like, man, no off days. We're playing so good. Don't ruin it with an off day, right? We're kind of playing right now. Oh, we'll take the off days. We'll take the mental reset seriously. So we'll have to see how that game goes and whether or not that gets played out. Maybe they'll do some delays. It'll be unfortunate for us because we got to go to Minnesota for a game on Friday. So that'll just mean less recovery time. But, with the game starting so early, maybe they'll be able to squeeze it in between some of the thunderstorms. That would be fun. I don't know if I'll be able to stream during the game. I do have a day job, unfortunately. So I will probably have to wait till afterwards. But maybe if there's a delay, I'll be able to pull it off. Maybe. We'll see. I do like going live during the games. It's fun. I like to do a little play by play with you guys. Although it's kind of hard because everybody's on like a different stream and it's going at different times. But trust me, I love going live when the Rangers are playing. It's fun doing the play-by-play. So going play-by-play or color announcer, that was right up there like with the childhood dream. So this is about as close as I can get, guys. So I appreciate it. Um, yeah, that's true. There are a ton of games left. During the summer, by the way, my schedule frees up a little bit, so it's kind of nice. So I'll probably be able to go live a little bit more during the games during the summertime. Schedule gets a little bit more cleared up, so that's a nice thing. So we'll probably be able to make that happen, actually. Real quick, we'll end with this. Dallas Mavs beat the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight in Minneapolis. That was nice after watching a tough Rangers game. I know not all y'all are Mavs fans, but I know I got quite a few fans of all DFW sports that are following along. Was good to see the Mavs get off to a game one win. Always good to be able to get game one, especially when you're on the road, and to be able to close it out like they did. Thought it was a phenomenal game. And I really feel good about the Mavs' chances. I don't know how that potential series with Boston is going to go. And I don't want to get ahead of myself here. Obviously, I think the series against Minnesota is going to be a good one if tonight is any indication. But I think the Mavs match up against everyone that's left. I really do feel that way. Boston is a great team, but I think we saw Boston and Pacers. Think we saw that Boston can be had, and the Pacers are a good team too. They actually beat the Mavs a couple of times at the end of the season. But with that being said, I think that the Mavs are on a good roll right now. They're clicking at just the right time. Exciting stuff in the DFW area. Are the Stars on tomorrow? Dallas Stars start their series tomorrow. Is that right? Against Edmonton? Don't know. I've not checked on the start time. Looks like it is tomorrow at 7:30 Texas time. So we got the Stars game tomorrow. Maybe we can fit in a live before that Stars game. That would be nice. That way I don't have to wait till after the game or do it during the game. So we'll try and squeeze in the live before the Stars kick off against the Oilers. That would be great. Well, all right, y'all. Let me check comments one last time. And I want to say real quick, thank you so much for all the comments. And thank you for all the support. I really appreciate you guys. Look, the dream always was, let's just get good people together talking sports. And that's what this has been tonight and pretty much every other night we've done this. So we're grateful to you. Thank you so much for liking, for sharing. And look, if you would be so kind, we always say this, share this with the Rangers fan. You know somebody that loves the Rangers, loves baseball, loves sports, share our channel with them. Rangers kind of take the priority during the baseball season, but we'll get started up with NFL as we get a little bit further along in the summer. We'll start talking Cowboys. We'll start talking all things NFL as we get a little bit closer to that season. We do a little college football as well, but it's mostly NFL, NBA, MLB here on this channel. But appreciate you guys. And as we always say here at Right On Rangers, God bless. Go Rangers. Hope y'all have a great rest of your Wednesday night. And we'll hope to see y'all tomorrow on the live or sometime very, very soon. Y'all have a good one.